Hello YouTube. You can also find me on stocktwits, PowerTarget Trade Sandro on stocktwits, and on Twitter. I'm going to talk about TSLA and WBA, how you can make money with options. I actually post instructions and plans, um, but the key is to wait for the trigger. Okay, so let's get into it. So what I do, you click on here. We're going to start with WBA. Click on WBA here. Okay. And basically what I did is I made a plan here and I explained. I says WBA is set up to test 88 to 91. The December 16 85 calls are cheap and could gain 100 to 300% gains. Okay, so I'm suggesting for people, I mean, people could use different calls, but the 85 calls are trading very well. They're very cheap. I think they're under $100 per 100 shares. So, you get to control, if you buy one option, you control 100 shares. Of course, these options have time, but when we trigger, we're looking to we're looking to hold something for a few days to a few weeks. So these are trigger points when we confirm. We usually sometimes we may not hold the stock for, we don't have to hold it too long. Sometimes only 3 days, and you're making 100% gains, if not more. But that's another story. Anyways, you follow my channel, PowerTarget Trades, for more information. Just keep studying my channel. Lots of great information on there about life and making money in the markets. Anyways, WBA needs to break above 82.50 on some good action volume. Okay, so that means we want some good volume to happen. So a good action volume is 900K on a 15-minute chart. So I break it down to the 15-minute chart because intraday we're looking to get this in the day, right? So usually I like to employ 1 hour rule. We try to look for things to trigger within the first hour. And that usually the best trades work that way. For longs, for shorts is a different story. For shorts can happen anytime. Long, I find for long situation, it's usually the best within the first hour of trading. Anyways, if the volume is less than that, look for basing above 92.50 and a power push over 983 to 983.50. Again, we need to see power. In other words, if it looks weak at 82.50, sometimes what happens is the power comes after, or sometimes it hits 82.50, and this is what are called weak. They make false moves and the stock pulls back. So what you want to do is wait for the power. Okay, that's why I say power push over 83 to 83.50. Okay, so there you have the instructions, and again, you can check this out on PowerTarget Trade on stocktwits. This is posted, by the way, November the 14th. See, it tells you the time before the moves, people. Now let's take a look at TSLA. Again, this thing here could do 100 to 300% gains. Same with this stock here. I mean, this stock here could do some strong gains at TSLA. This stock is not easy though. I mean, I've been trading this son of a bitch for quite a bit in and out, not going where I want it to go. But this thing here, it's going to do one or two things. I think a lot of people are bearish, and for some reason we keep popping up. I placed a trade and I had to get out of it for some small profits. But nonetheless, I think something's going to happen very soon here. So this is why I say this is Tesla set up to break down or reverse and test 203 to 210. If it reverses, in other words, it tries to go up, then it could test 203 if it can confirm that, though, by the way. It doesn't mean that's going to happen. This will be a double plan. For this week, we will use the November 18 175 puts or 170 puts. Or for the long side, we use the 180 calls or 185 calls. Now, November 18th, this is November the 14th, right? These are weekly calls. That means that they'll expire by the 18th. But you know what? This stock moves so quickly that you don't need to use, you can use weekly options. This is a great stock to use for weekly options if you have a good setup. Because when the stock moves, it moves fast. 10, 15, 20 points in a day. Tesla, when it wants to run, right? And then you can always roll over. But you can get in. These options are very cheap, under $200, I think, for the 175. For the 170s, anyways. You're gonna have to look at how much they cost when you look, but they are trading very well. At the same time, for the long side, we'll use. No, you know what? I said 180 or 185 calls. It's going to be I made a mistake with that. You're looking at the 190 to 195 calls. Okay, 190 to 195. So forget about that. Targets to the downside is 170 to 150. Targets to the upside is 203 to 207. And now this is if it confirms. Now, for this to go down, basically we just need to break below 179.50 to take the short option play. For the long side, look for a power break over 189 on some strong action volume. 2 million on a 15-minute chart is a good sign. If the volume is less than that, look for basing above 189 and a power push over 190 to 192.50. So you want to look for the power. Again, this can go both ways, and I had to make an adjustment on these calls. Forget about what I said here. That I made a mistake. Again, this could do some really great gains. 100 to 300% easily with TSLA if they can confirm. And sometimes you just have to get out. This is some. If you're not a really good trader, I wouldn't bother with the stock. But boy, oh boy, if this actually tries to crack over 179.50 down again, I think you don't need to use more of it than a 3-point stop. This can crash pretty hard. But if it doesn't and it wants it to reverse, you gotta open your mind. You can't stick to one idea. This is really set up to the downside. But I also see a reason for this to reverse. Okay, it's one of those things that's kind of set up both ways. That's why it's a breakdown or reverse. If you like the video, please subscribe to PowerTarget Trades on YouTube. So PowerTarget Trades on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button. Going to be more great videos. Going to be on fitness and health. Also on a lot of stock option plans and stock plans. So subscribe to PowerTarget Trades. Thanks for listening. Like the video.